Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today I'm just gonna do a real quick announcement video about different things that's going to happen on my channel for what's been going on so far. Now guys, like that Tal just said, I know it didn't probably make that, well, it made sense, but it's like it was just dragged out for too long. But basically guys, all this video is going to be is a bunch of announcements about different things either coming up on my channel or things that has been going on and stuff like that. Like for example, some of the announcements we'll be doing in this video are going to include PBR. I want to go about what's been going on with PBR. The announcements I'm about to tell you guys what we're going to do are probably not going to be limited to the ones I'm talking about right now. Like if I say I want to talk about PBR and then a few other things, it may not be limited to just those two things that I just said right now. I may think of another announcement that we can use later on, or that I could talk about then. Mainly guys, this is going to focus on at least 3 or 4 different announcements. I'm going to focus on PBR, what's been going on with that. I want to talk about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky, and a potential project, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. And then along with that, I gotta make a real quick announcement about both Pokemon Cafe Mix. I guess I'll be making I guess I'll be making an announcement about that. And then Pokemon Masters. Now guys, before we really get into the announcements, I want you guys to go ahead and look at the text on the screen in the top left corner right here. The date and the time. You guys will notice that the font has again been changed to something different. Like I mentioned before, every few episodes or so, we're going to end up changing this to where it's a little bit different. That way you won't just be seeing the same thing over and over again. It'll be changed. Maybe in some cases, like I did in some videos in the past, I'll even get to the point of changing the color. But, yeah, right now it's just a text font, but maybe next time I do it, or sometime while changing the text fonts, I'll think about, let's get a different color other than green, you know? Something like that. But, on to a more important announcement. I just need to go ahead and let you guys know about this, so you may be wondering what the heck happened to this. It's been changed, as you can clearly tell. But anyway, enough about that topic. Let's move on to the main announcements. As I mentioned a while ago, I have 4 different announcements. Number 1, PBR. Number 2, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. Number 3, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, well, actually, I would say a potential project, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. And then the 4th announcement is going to combine both of the announcements. Combine both Pokemon Cafe Mix and Pokemon Masters, and why the frick I haven't done either one in a long time. So yeah, guys, let's get on to the number 1 announcement that I need to go ahead and talk about. Now guys, about a week ago on my YouTube channel, I uploaded a video that was part 181 to my Let's Play of Pokemon Battle Revolution. However guys, after that episode, you didn't see anything else from me that includes PBR. It's been at least close to a week since it's been almost 2 weeks since I uploaded that video, and there hasn't been anything else from me since. Well guys, one of the main reasons why I haven't gotten a video up yet is because I'm trying to focus on getting Palkia's Pass done. Now lately, for the past almost a week now, I haven't been getting anything done in the game because I've been trying to focus on the project I'm doing right now on my channel, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers the Sky. Because of that project taking up my time, I don't really have the time to sit around and worry about getting that game done. One of the main reasons why I haven't been seeing PBR lately is because I've got a whole bunch of other things I gotta worry about. I gotta try doing stuff on my other projects, such as, well, I know this is kind of spoiling things for the next few announcements, but I gotta try to figure out how I'm gonna do. I got a lot of things to do on Pokemon Masters and kind of Pokemon Cafe mix as well. I've been trying every day that I've been going without playing the game on camera. I've been going into the game to get my daily rewards and all that stuff. And I've also in Pokemon Masters, I've been trying to do specific events in the game. Right now, for the next 3 days, they're going to be holding an event. Well, actually, they've had this event for a good almost month now. I think they've had this event for at least a month or close to a month by now, or about 2 weeks. They've had this event where you face a bunch of trainers that are in Paso, and when you beat them, you actually get little things that's called prize tickets. Now, guys, this event is kind of similar to the one we got where I told you about me getting Palkia. For you guys that don't know, in the Palkia event, the main thing you had to do was try to get 4 story missions so you could have Cyrus join your team. And I got really lucky on the first few rounds to go ahead and get all 4 of those, and I got really lucky with that. However, guys, they're holding another event now, that's very similar to that, where you battle all these trainers, and whenever you beat them, you get a certain number of prize tickets, whatever they called them. And whenever you get a lot of them, you can spend those prize tickets or prize coins or whatever they call them, and you can get different rewards out of there. Them rewards including Elite Four notes, training manuals, different type of stat boost, different type of drinks that boost the level cap, such as the attack, the support, and stuff like that. And off camera, I've just been trying to do those battles, and well, get as many people as I can leveled up. Like I mentioned, guys, this event ends around the 15th, so I've got to be done by then. That way I'm gonna try doing the battles for the next few days. That way I can get as much of that stuff as I can. I'm trying to get a bunch of stat boosting drinks. Well, level cap boosting drinks, and trying to get as much of that as I can to level up everybody that I've got in the game. I did end up getting a few new characters in the game. I don't remember all the new ones I got, but I did get Bruno, who has Machamp. And there's a lot of other ones I got too. Well, there's a few ones at least. Like I said, I'll probably show you some of them characters once I get back to the game, but mainly for now I'm just trying to get as much as I can done just by itself. So yeah, I actually found a little thing in the game where if you go to a specific character that you want to learn more about, there's actually a little plus button like next to their icon or their picture, and if you actually click on that and then click on the character after you click on the plus button, you can actually see the little different animations that they do in the game, such as some of the characters as mad faces or laughing faces or something like that. And along with that, you can hear a lot of the voice lines that they say in the game. So what I might do is for you guys that For the characters I did not get to show off me getting in the game on camera, I will be going to those voice lines and showing you what they all say. It ain't all of their lines, but it's a good amount of them. And in one of the episodes, we'll be focusing more on that. I think the next episode will be focusing more on that than anything, because of the fact that I have to worry about getting a bunch of stuff done. For now, guys, I'm going to let you know, don't be expecting videos of Pokemon Masters at least till next week. You know what, I didn't expect to go in this order either, so while I'm on the topic, let me go ahead and go over Pokemon Cafe Mix. Unfortunately, I do have some kind of bad news about Pokemon Cafe Mix right now. I know that I haven't been doing it in around 4 months now, but I'm running into a brick wall with the game right now, because of the fact that I looked up online to see if I can evolve the Pokemon that I have on my staff or on my team, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like you can. So that intro that we saw with Charizard in it is kind of a lie, which kind of sucks. I will try going back to the game, but don't be expecting it for a while. Unfortunately, if that project don't start working out, I may have to delete the game. I may not delete it, but it may be a long time before I can come back to that game. The main thing that I'm trying to worry about right now is getting back into Pokemon Masters. Like I said, I've been getting a lot of work done on it, and hopefully by next week I'll be ready to get back into the game again. I know that was kind of a tantrum, and I know it was kind of also weird because I did say I'd talk about those two projects last, and they ended up becoming one of the first announcements I made. But that also kind of ties in to every other game I've done. While I haven't been playing PBR on camera for everyone, I've been focusing on these other games. Like I said, I've been focusing on the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky project that I started about 5 to 6 days ago. And then along with that, I'm also getting a lot of other stuff done as well. Along with doing that, I'm like I said, getting stuff done on Pokemon Cafe Mix and Pokemon Masters. I'm trying to plan out how my next project is going to go. I'm thinking about doing a redone project of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I know to you guys that may sound weird. I'm going to admit this, guys. Out of all the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, some of you guys may think I'm crazy for saying this, but Red and Blue Rescue Team is definitely my least favorite of all the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games that Game Freak's come out with. I like Rescue Team DX better, but there's a main reason why I hate or don't like that game as much as everybody else likes it. And it's because of one moment in the game. Now, guys, let's go and explain the story of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon for a second. Let's not even just explain that. Let's take into consideration basically every Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game except for Rescue Team DX. And Red and Blue Rescue Team, obviously. One of the main reasons that I ain't gonna say hate's a strong word, but one of the reasons why I find that Red and Blue Rescue Team is not as good is because of a few reasons. The main reason, though, is because of your Pokemon friendship. I'll get back to that in a second, but let me go ahead and say the other reason. Another one of the reasons why I don't like the game that much is because of the dungeons in the game. Some of the dungeons in that game are ridiculously hard. So hard that, like, if I was to play them, even if Toadal was being friendly to me, it'd be hard to take his advice because I'd just end up giving up. Now, during the last video that I made of Explores the Sky, I actually talked about how we never failed a dungeon. I talked about how I never failed a dungeon that entire game. Like, me and Toto have been doing a fantastic job. However, there's something I completely forgot. We have failed a dungeon. Toadal hasn't. I think that's the thing that's getting me mixed up. We have failed Mount Bristle at least 2 times in the past that I completely forgot about. And let me say that again. I failed. Not Toadal. I failed. Toadal has not failed a single time this entire run so far. I have a feeling the next episode's going to change that though, because the next episode we got to go to an electric type area. However, guys, I think the next episode will focus more on training again. I know to you guys, me doing all that training and all that stuff would be kind of dumb, but honestly, the more training we do, the better off we'd be off later in the game. You guys have got to realize that my project on Explorers of Sky is going to consist of the special episodes, which we finished up in the first 2 to 3 parts. I'm also going to be doing the main story. That's where we are right now. We're on chapter 9 or 10 right now in the story, and we're going to be getting as far as we can with that. Then, along with that, we also got the post game to go through. You guys have got to realize that one of the main problems I have with Explorers of Sky is that you cannot evolve that easily in the game. Well, it's easy to evolve, but not until later in the game. To actually evolve in the game, you have to beat Darkrai and Palkia. Take note, guys, that we've already been struggling with bosses in the past. The bosses haven't been really the thing knocking us out yet. However, you guys have got to realize that along with doing that, some of the places in the game have so many floors, it's not even freaking funny. Let me give you an example real quick. Instead of referencing Explorers of Sky, though, let's go to a different game. Let's go to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Blue Rescue Team, and Rescue Team DX. Now, in the post game, one of the dungeons you can go to is called Stormy Sea. Now, as you guys know, I attempted to do that do that dungeon on camera. However, let me show you something. I just got one on this thing to pull up. There we go. I want to show you something. You guys may remember, if you watched the entire project, that I was trying to actually do the post game. I was trying my best to. But here's the thing. The number of floors required to beat the freaking thing is ridiculous. Let me go and show you. Guys, before I write this number down, if you guys know this dungeon or remember, go ahead, say the number right now. For you guys that don't know, just take a good guess. I want you to go ahead and take a good guess on how many floors this dungeon has. Now, I'm going to give you a limit on the number of floors you can have. Well, not a limit per se, but let's say the limit for dungeon floors is 1 through 50. Now, guys, give me a number that you think it is between 1 and 50. Go ahead, guys. Tell me what number you think it is. Are y'all making guesses? Well, alright. Go ahead and make guesses all you want. But I'm going to go and start counting down from 10. And I want you guys, once I get done doing that, once I get done counting from 10, I will reveal the answer on the screen. I'm going to reveal what the number actually is. Alright, so again, the limit of floors is 1 through 50. Don't you guys go saying 60, 75, 104. The limit is 50. Don't say any more than 50. Alright, so I'm going to again count down from 10, and I want you guys to take a guess. Alright, on your marks, get set, go! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. Alright, guys. Hope you made your guesses. The correct answer is... Yep. That's all I can say is freaking yep. If y'all guess the number, let me do this. If y'all guess the number 40, that is the correct number of floors to the dungeon. The dungeon that I'm talking about has 40 freaking that's not what I meant to click on. Anyway, the dungeon, again, has 40 floors. Does that sound funny to you guys? No. One of the main reasons why I didn't do the post game was because of the ridiculous attempt you have to make in order to beat that dungeon. And let me go ahead and tell you something else. If you think, well, yeah, the dungeon's 40 floors, but there's always a rest stop there. Like, maybe once you get to the floor 20, once you get to floor number 20, there's a rest stop. Well, let me go ahead and tell you that right the frick now, guys. If y'all think there's actually a rest stop in that freaking dungeon, I'll write the answer on the screen. That's right. There is no rest stop inside that dungeon. Which means if you fail one time, it doesn't matter how far you were on that dungeon, you could have been on floor 39 and only been one away from beating it. But, guess what? If you get knocked out by a Pokemon, faint from hunger, or faint from any status condition, you have to restart that entire dungeon from floor 1. Do you guys see why I did not do the post game for Red and Blue Rescue Team / Rescue Team DX? That is exactly why. I find that freaking ridiculous. Even with us being fully evolved, you cannot. Like, seriously. Especially with me being a Charizard in the game. That place is more of a water type area, which means I'm screwed already. Fryer may not be as screwed, but I am. And you gotta realize that that's actually the main reason why I never did the post game. That's what my redone project is going to try to be about. I'm going to try to redo the game to where there won't be much of a problem. I'm hoping that maybe I can get to the main game and not worry about anything. Thing is, it ain't even time for me to do that project yet. I ain't gonna do the project till I at least finish Explorers the Sky. And it ain't even time for me to do that project just yet. And I'm sitting over here thinking horrible thoughts because of later in the game when Totodile gets mad at you. Yeah, it's only for a minute, but that does not fit his characteristic at all. Him getting mad, well, at least in terms of at you, it doesn't fit right with his character. Plus, in the game, he doesn't bluntly say, "Oh, you're my best friend, Trenton," until later in the game. He doesn't say that. He says stuff like, "I believe in you," and all that. But that's before you go on the run. And then, about the time that you get done before the time that you get back and get your name cleared, after you find out that you weren't the human in that Legend of Ninetales, before that happens, he says, "You know, Trenton, you're one of my best friends and I always liked you." I don't know if it's quite that line, but honestly, it's going to get me to the point where I feel like I ain't going to be able to do it. I love Rescue Team DX, don't get me wrong, but as you guys have seen from my last project, there is dungeon after dungeon after dungeon I struggle on. There's the Mount Blaze. There's what's the name of that frickin' forest or whatever. There's the dungeons where you had to fight Moltres, Groudon, Articuno, Zapdos. Heck, even having to face Skarmory early in the game can be a pain to the dungeon you're in. I just don't like it. It really ain't good. And like I said, then you think when you're done with them dungeons, they wouldn't be as much torture. No, the game packs on more torture for you to deal with. If you thought fighting Groudon, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno weren't hard enough, Well, guess what? Then you have to face Rayquaza. And the dungeon has a lot of freaking floors, which, if you have no apples, or if you are just plain rushing and trying to get to it as fast as you can, let me just give you advice. You're freaking dead. That dungeon, one of the problems I have with Rescue Team DX, and the same can be said for Red and Blue Rescue Team, is the hunger bar. It can be a problem in Explorers of the Sky, but generally the game gives you a lot of apples to work with, and sometimes you need to find the dungeon that you're progressing through the story in. Generally, in Explorers of the Sky, you have a lot of apples on hand, so it's like you're good there. But I swear, in Red and Blue Rescue Team, they intentionally put no apples in certain dungeons just to freaking make you go hungry. And that game, I swear you can't even explore dungeons in that game. In Rescue Team DX, I think I explored a dungeon for like 5 minutes and I was already freaking hungry. Like, are you kidding me? Ain't one of the points of Poem Mystery Dungeon is to explore the dungeons you're in? To find all these good items? How can you do that when the game doesn't give you enough time to look for those items? Again, one of the reasons why I've been exploring so much in Explorers of the Sky, which I usually never do, is because I have plenty of time. I'm finding a lot of apples, so if I do end up getting hungry, well, there's a simple solution. Eat one of the apples. Good. We're all good to go. And like I said, now that we're higher level, we can also deal with enemies that we knew we couldn't deal with beforehand. Like I said, guys, we fainted Mount Bristle the first time we went there. Well, scratch that. I fainted the first time I went there, and I fainted again the second time. However, third time was a charm when we made it through. Like I mentioned, guys, Tail's been doing a lot better than me in both battle and smartness. I've given Toadal so many freaking gummies, I wouldn't be shocked if he just turned around to me during the game and was like, Trenton, you know what? I'm way smarter than you. You're just very dumb. Or something like that. Or like he just turns around and says something smart like Einstein. Or he could just turn around and be like, you know, Trenton, thank you for giving me all them gummies. I really appreciate it. Thanks to you, I'm very, very, very smart. Or something. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he actually did that, like, freaking at one point in time. One of the reasons why I'm doing it, though, is because of the fact that I might need Toadal's help. I've been really inclined to try to get TMs for, like, the moves Brick Break and Dig. Not really as much Brick Break, but at least need the TM for Dig. Maybe Earthquake. Because the dungeon we're coming up to, Ant Plains, has a boss. And, spoiler alert, the boss is a frickin' electric type one. And, another spoiler, there's like 10 different enemies in that boss. You have to fight either a Magnetric and a bunch of Electrike, or you have to face a Luxray and a bunch of Luxio. Do you see why I don't like I don't like bosses like that at all, especially if you don't have a move that can hit them all. That's why I think Earthquake would work out for us, because as dumb as it sounds, I need as much things as I can get to help me out. As you guys remember in the last video, during that time, I actually ended up finding a chest with the TM for the move, I believe, Flamethrower. But here's the problem. I don't think me or Toadal could learn Flamethrower. I highly doubt Toadal could, and I highly doubt I could either. Even if I got a Fire-type Pokemon, I'd have to keep him alive. Like, having a Fire-type move right now ain't really necessary, but one of the main reasons why I need Brick Break or Dig, Flamethrower would work too, and one of the main reasons why I need it is because I need something to deal with Dialga. I'm going to tell you this, guys. Dialga's going to be a pain in the neck. So I'm going to need Toadal or me to have some kind of good move to deal with them. That's why I'm saying have something like Brick Break, or Dig, or Earthquake, or some kind of good fire move that maybe me or Toadal could learn. Like, if we could have either of those, I think we'd be in the clear. Well, I wouldn't say we'd be in the clear, but we have a better chance of dealing with them. Me being a Riolu, I already have fighting type moves, so Brick Break ain't really as big of a deal unless I want to give it to Totodile, obviously. But I would like Totodile to have a move that could deal with Dialga. So I'd really want him to have the moves like Dig. Dig, if we can actually keep Totodile alive long enough, would actually help us beat Electric and Magnetric or Luxio and Luxray, because obviously they're electric types. The only weakness they have is ground, so it's like that's my only option. So I'm going to let you know right now, guys, that during the next episode, we will not focus on the amp planes right off the bat. We're gonna go back to a route we did a few episodes back, where we're going to just take jobs with the job bulletin board and the outline notice board, mainly the job bulletin board, so we don't screw up a mission like we did with that Chingling one. And we're going to get as many rewards as we can, much money as we can, and I'm going to hope that I can save up enough money to where if Kecleon starts selling the TM for Dig or Brick Break, I can buy it. It doesn't even have to be that. If I can save up enough money to be able to unlock all them chests that I'll get from doing that, maybe we'll get lucky and both of them TNs will be in one of those chests. I mean, we got lucky enough for Flamethrower to be in there, didn't we? So, yeah. Plus, like I said, then we can also earn more Explorer rank points, gummies, coins, max ethers maybe. Reviver seeds could also be very helpful. But there's a bunch of different possibilities. Honestly, guys, I'm going to let you know right now that I'll probably be doing the same thing in Red and Blue, or in excuse me. I'll probably be doing the same thing in Rescue Team DX. Because in that game, it's a lot harder to be able to recruit Pokemon on your side. You have to buy friend areas from Wigglytuff, which is really annoying, especially later on because they get so expensive. Honestly, I'm probably going to have to sit there and do a bunch of random job dungeons instead of doing our main mission. That way I can just earn coins to be able to buy some of them places. Because having more recruitments would help us a lot in later dungeons. Yeah, we can't necessarily bring them along and they may not be that helpful, but you don't get that many recruits for yourself. You get Magneton near the beginning of the game. It's like one of your first missions you have to do. Then along with that, you get an Absol later in the game. So it's like, but that's the thing. That's the only main team members the game gives you. You can recruit the legendaries, but only in the post game. And only after you beat the snot out of them a second time. One of my main problems with this is I'm worried that, again, I'm going to end up worrying about Totodile hating me. Then it's going to get me depressed and I'm going to end up quitting the game before I can do anything. I don't know, I shouldn't be worrying about that right now. Right now I should be focusing on trying to beat Explorers of Sky. But I have this very bad feeling that I'm going to honestly get deeply upset, crawl out on camera, and be like, no my guys, I can't do this, I'm leaving, bye. Like, I don't want to just end the freaking game already. I have a bad feeling that's going to end up happening now if I don't figure out a plan. But for now, guys, my main goal is just to focus on the games that I need to worry about. The main games we're really focusing on at this time is me trying to get things done on Pokemon Masters and Pokemon Cafe Mix, getting done with Pokemon Pearl, doing PBR if I can, and then the main project that's going to be going on for the next few days is probably going to end up being Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. That's not going to stop. We're going to finish that game sometime, you know. I don't know if I'll be able to do an episode today because I am ending up getting a little bit tired right now, and I do not want to end up falling asleep during the game. Or like me be bored because I'm tired and then screw it all up. So sometime after I get a nap, I might end up doing another episode of the game. But for now, my main goal is just to clear my head and try to make myself feel better. Because honestly, again, if I don't, we're going to have some trouble, very big trouble in Rescue Team DX when I want to go back to it. Because I love Totodile. I have a very big attachment to him particularly. In fact, guys, Totodile has replaced Charizard as the #1 best Pokemon. Some of you guys may be sitting there like that right now. But honestly, one of the main reasons why I've grown such an attachment to Totodile, Croconon, Feraligatr is because of their less popularity. Again, guys, tell me, I'm not counting Rescue Team DX and Sun and Moon, I want you guys to tell me a point in the game where you can actually get them in any other Pokemon game. And no, this cannot include trades. He has to be available in the game for that to count. Think of it this way. Take Sun and Moon for example. You could get him in the game without having to trade for anything. All you have to do is do an island scan on a certain day. I want you guys to give me a few examples of games where you could just get Totodile in the game and not have to trade him over from a different one. Seriously, tell me in the comments below what games you can get that in. Because honestly, I would like to know. And no, Pokemon Masters does not count. And if Totodile's in Pokemon Cafe Mix, he doesn't count there either. Give me some main Pokemon games that you can have him in. Main games such as X and Y, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. But I wouldn't recommend saying Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon because you could most likely get him like you could in Sun and Moon. Well, you could include it, but I might not count it as big of a deal. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I'll probably never play again because I don't want to worry about getting my Pokemon hurt. If I get some of my most favorite Pokemon hurt, I'm probably going to end up being very upset about it, and I don't want that. That's another reason why I feel like, I like Totodile. Like I said, Totodile doesn't get as much love from anybody that I know personally. Like on YouTube or anything. Seriously, guys, I want you guys to tell me some YouTubers that you guys know that actually love Feraligatr. Well, I guarantee you they won't be many. And if you guys know about the United Gamer, don't say him because I already know. You can say the United Gamer, but I'm going to look for different YouTubers that actually like Totodile. I've actually been watching a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team Let's Play on YouTube, where the guy actually ended up getting to the post game, and then getting to the point where he could get Totodile recruited in the game, and he actually said that it was his favorite starter. Again, that's probably one of the only times in like months, or maybe even almost a year, that I've heard anybody say Feraligatr is their favorite Pokemon. And like I said, it doesn't happen very often, so when I see somebody say that, I just I'm very happy about it. So, yeah. You can see kind of the issue with this. It's not even just about him being less popular. You guys have got to remember that ever since I played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky for the first time, I don't know if I made a YouTube video on it, but there was a project I did when I first started playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Especially Explores the Sky, at the end of the game, whenever I had to leave and Toad started bawling his eyes out, I legitimately about cried during that. And that alone has made me like Totodile more than anybody. In terms of, like, my most favorite Pokemon. In fact, the list for my favorite Pokemon would be #1, Charizard, #2, Feraligatr. Well, that switched around. Let's switch these two around. Alright, at the top we now have Feraligatr, and in second place we have Charizard. That doesn't mean that I hate Charizard. I will always like Charizard. That's never going to change for me. Charizard will always be my favorite fire-type Pokemon. There's not many fire types that I really do like. Like, in terms of, I consider my favorite ones. The main ones being the fire-type bug from Generation 8, and Charizard. That's literally about it. I don't mind about certain Pokemon like Ninetales or anything like that, but I ain't gonna just up and say you know what, it's my favorite Pokemon, because it's not. I don't mind with the Pokemon, but it doesn't mean that I like it, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's what all the announcements I had to make for this episode. I know most of this, I did talk about in the beginning how this episode would focus more on Pokemon Bio Revolution and all that, but it never really did. Before I leave, guys, let me go ahead and give you a summary of all the announcements I made. PBR. The only thing you guys need to know is that I'm trying to get stuff done with Palkia's Pass right now. Once I get a little bit further in it, and I feel up to snuff again with it, and maybe before I do my Rescue Team DX Let's Play, I'll do at least one more round of PBR. PBR will not be quitting. It just might be a while before you see another episode of it because of all the stuff we're having right now. All the stuff that we're kind of running into. Explores the Sky. There will be another project on it either tonight or tomorrow. But I can only do it when I'm not tired, and right now I kind of am. Rescue Team DX. We will be doing that game, but you guys will have to give me a little bit, because I don't want to go into the game with the mindset of Toto hating me, because I don't want that to happen. So I will be doing the game, just give me a little while. Pokemon Cafe Mix, that's the only thing I'm not sure whether we're going to do or not. I'm not going to delete the game after all the progress I've made. However, since I can't really evolve the Pokemon and all that junk, I'm kind of like running into a brick wall right now. I will be going back to the game, but I won't be doing it as often as I will other games. Speaking of, we're going to be also Pokemon Masters. Right now, guys, I'm trying to get as many sync pairs to as much a level cap as I can possibly get them. The most I've been able to get all my sync pairs up to is level 120, mainly because I need a specific item for that character, which is called the Blank Tomb. That may seem, or Blank Tome, or whatever you call it. Basically, what I mean by blank is it's going to have the name of, it's going to have the name of an element on there. Like, if I wanted to level up a water-type Pokemon, one of the things I would need is something called, well, it should be kind of obvious. Obviously, it'd be called a Water Tomb. Or Tome, or however you say it. And like I said, you could basically take that and just insert it into whatever the frick you want. Heck, it doesn't even have to be a water tome. This goes for any of them sync pairs you want to level up. Let's say you want to level up, like for Alligator. Well, you need that water tomb, obviously. But let's take another character in action. Let's say you want to evolve, I don't know, maybe, what's her name? There's a girl, I don't remember her name, but she's the girl you meet in pretty much the very beginning of the game. And she has the the Superior. That girl, well, you can get her to level 20, level 120. However, I believe you'll need to have, a grass tome in order to do it. Which, again, brings a big issue. The specific items that I mentioned right here, the tomes are not easy to get. You have to do specific events in the game that kind of get them to happen. Like, you can get them through, like, the little training areas. However, the people you have to beat in order to get the specific one you need is really hard. Even when most of my sync pairs being level 120, we still can't beat them. And that stinks because I don't know if I've told you guys this yet, but I end up getting Feraligatr to join me on my side. And, just like with most of my other Sync pairs, I've got him up to level... You know what, let's pay respect to Feraligatr, let's put it in his color. I got him up to level 120. I could actually get him up to level... I could actually get him up to level 125, but again, you need a bunch of them attack drinks. You need the Elite Four notes or whatever and all that stuff. However, along with that, you need the specific element Tomb in order to get this to happen. You have to have, in his case, well, obviously, the Water Tomb. That's the example I used a while ago. The reason why I told you guys about the Water Tomb specifically is because of Totodile himself, or Feraligatr. I actually did go ahead and evolve him into Feraligatr. He was a Totodile when I first got him. Well, actually, it's a her. When I first got Chris and her to join me, I immediately pretty much evolved them. And like I said, you need that Water Tomb in order to be able to do it, which is kind of a problem. So yeah, guys, that's really all the announcements I had to make for this episode. This episode ended up already being over 45 minutes long, which is something I didn't expect for this episode. But hey, I just summed up basically what you guys need to know. I think we all should be good now. Anyway, guys, that's all the announcements I had to make. The next video I'll probably end up doing is my next part to Poor Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky. But that won't be until later tonight or tomorrow, probably. Unless I'm not tired in a little bit. Again, that might not happen, though. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. That's all I gotta tell you. Until next time, everyone, I want you all to be the very best, like no one ever was. And I'll see you for the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everyone.